Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. It is Sunday afternoon, and I wanted to jump on to express a word. The mind is a powerful tool, okay? The mind is a powerful tool, and if we actually use it, right, it will work. I want you all to think about some things that could help you change and build and start working on your mindset. One, you do have to really understand that it's a matrix. Some of us call it the matrix, but let's say system, right? There are systems that are in place that keep you kind of thinking the way that you do, right? When you're born into certain families that hold certain beliefs, that think certain ways, right? And so a lot of times you're taught certain things in this system and from this society, right? And I'll give you a couple of examples. When you are born in the American system, in the United States of America, you are taught to go to school, to get an education, to find a corporate job and work for somebody else, and do that until you are old enough to pass away and die. All right. That's the so-called American dream, right? In school, most of the stuff that you have learned through preschool, grammar school, high school, you will never use in life. You will never use it in life. For those that actually decide to go to college, most people aren't even using or in the field of their college degree. I actually went to college as well and have my degree. But if I knew what I know now, if I ever decided to have children, I would not allow them to go to public school. They would be homeschooled. They would not be in the regular society of what is taught in society. In society, we're also taught to be numbers. You're graded by a test score, right? Everyone may not test well. Some kids get nervous, etc. That doesn't mean that they're a bad student and they aren't a good student and they aren't smart, right? But in American system, that is how you are graded. You're graded off of this number of where you land. And so let's, again, always talk from a point of an African American, because that is who I am in this country and what I am used to and grew up around, right? We already know that in a lot of our school systems, it's it's nowhere near on the same level. It's nowhere near on the same playing field, right? So bring that in with lack of resources, lack of attention. Some kids coming to school haven't ate that morning, right? A lot of goes into it, but you're still graded on that number and by that number if you're someone that should be passing in the education system, right? They also have taught you year after year that to grow up, and when you get your corporate job, to buy a home, buy a car, right? They want you to buy a vehicle, buy a car, buy a home, right? But technically, right, again, coming from experience, technically, we really should be taught the opposite. Your house and your car is a bill. It's another expense, right? If God forbid you lose that corporate job that they have told you to go and get, right? which is why a lot of you all are brainwashed again. Corporate America, corporate society. That's a whole nother other conversation. But if you lose that corporate job, now you cannot afford to pay that car note. Okay? Now you can also not afford to pay that mortgage or that house or your rent or your apartment. Right? But if you learn things like the power of credit, and you learn credit and you really know and understand credit and how to really properly use it in America, we're not taught that. You're not taught that in your American education system. You're not taught credit. You're not taught taxes. You're not taught financial literacy. And you're not taught financial literacy for a reason. It's a system. And it has been systematically built to keep many of you down. And not only African American people, let's be clear. Because some people seem to believe that my Section 8 video, I'm only talking to black people. I'm not, because every race and creed is on Section 8 in the United States. All right. So let's get that straight. All right. So when you all have been taught this certain system, this is why you have conformity. You all are conformed in this country. You stay in a conformity mindset, a groupthink mindset, a mindset to where if someone has a different opinion, you all get on the internet and want to curse that person out for thinking on their own, for thinking properly, for having questions, right? Because again, in this society, you have been taught this way. You have been taught that that is how your education is. You have been taught, oh yeah, we're going to buy this nice car and we're going to get this big house. But then you haven't been taught how to actually invest, how to make more money. What I know now, I would have never bought me a single family house in 2009. I didn't need one. I was single. It was me and my dog. I should have bought a building. I should have bought a 3-flat. I should have bought an investment property, because when you buy an investment property first, that investment property is going to make you money. If you live in a 3-flat, and then this is the other thing. We have to also get out of the mindset of, I don't want to do that. Sometimes it ain't really about what you want to do. It's about what's best for you and your family that's coming up behind you. I don't have kids, but it's mind-boggling to me how some of you all as parents think, and that you don't think about the generation that you leaving, the generation that you created, these kids that you brought here, these grandkids you got here. You're not thinking about building something for them that they can have and pass down, right? So it's not always about, well, I don't want to be in the 3-unit building. I don't want to be a landlord. I don't feel like I don't. Legacy and wealth building is not always about wants. It's about structure. It's about having some type of structure and order. It's about leaving something that each generation can pass down, that nobody can take from you. It's about empowering the next generation behind you. Don't you want your kids and your grandkids to be better than you? Do you want them to have to be begging a corporate or a company to feed them to survive? If God forbid they lose their job, now they flipping out? Or do you want them to know how to get out here and get this money without needing nobody else? Do you want them to know and understand the power of credit? That credit is not a game. That if you actually use it properly and not burn it up, right, that you actually can get a lot more things in this country and do more. So the thing that a lot of us have been taught, again, because you on survival, a lot of you living in survival mode. So when you living in survival mode, you're really sometimes to do whatever. I'm gonna tell you again, been there, done that. I'm 43. I burned my name up early on, early 20s. I was out here early 20s. Burned my name all up. You know what it took me? It took me years to get my name back. When I was ready to be a functioning member of society and pay my taxes and buy a home and all of that when I was 26. I think I bought my first house at 26. Well, 26 or 28. One of the two. I was 26 or 28. It took me some time to get there. Because I was out here playing games. I was out here allowing survival mode to put me in situations where I was okay with burning my name up, doing a quick move, busting a move, and y'all not understanding though that them moves over time, it ain't worth it. Especially if you somebody like me who always had a calling, right? I ain't talking to everybody. This message ain't for everybody. Sometimes it's for some of y'all, right? But some of you think different. Some of you are in your house and you in your mind and you be like, I don't feel like the rest of the world. I don't feel like everybody else around me. I always felt different. I always felt out of place in my neighborhood, in my community. You know, when you talk different, when you think different, sometimes the people in your community, in your neighborhood, even your family members be like, you know, you think you all that. You want because you want more, because you talk different. Like, how I'm talking different? It's not my fault I went to school and learned a little English. Like, that don't make sense, right? So some of you are in a mind or around people who don't even see bigger. Some of you don't even see or are in the presence of people who don't even see bigger. Please don't allow that to block you. Please don't allow that to block you. Let me block this person right here. I ain't got time for this. One second. I ain't got time for that crap. Right? So I need y'all to be okay with stepping outside of your comfort zone. I need you to be okay with wanting more. All right. If you can watch Netflix for 2 hours, you can study a class. You can learn something new on YouTube. You on YouTube right now. YouTube University. Pick up something that you've been interested in. If you've ever been interested in fashion design, start watching some videos. If you've ever been interested in real estate, buying property, government contracts, traveling the world, start watching it. Start paying attention to it. Start putting it in your mind now. Okay? Because the mind is a powerful tool. That old school saying, if you think it and you believe it, you can achieve it. That's real. That's real. Any and everything that I've seen for myself in my life has happened or is happening. Because not only am I thinking it, I believe it, I meditate about it, I pray on it, but then I also get out here and do the work. Okay? But that is real when you are believing and you seeing and you putting more positive thoughts and more positive vibes and energy into your space, into your atmosphere. Your brain will connect with that. And it will start showing you more with that. It will start leading you to people who can help get you to where you want to be. You get what I'm saying? Because one thing that's for sure is you have to get to a place and a point in life to where you are not dependent on others. Okay? You have to get to a place and a point in life where you're not dependent on others. Also, I've shared with you all the importance of having a business in this country. America was built on business. Seriously. All right? Even if you go look at it, it says United States of America, Inc. You get what I mean? Most of your laws and most of your biggest business benefits and deductions are in the business tax code, not the personal tax code. The only thing they give you all for personally filing your taxes is people who have kids, and y'all get to claim earned income credit. And that's only for those of y'all who make up to $40,000. And let's be clear, you're not even really getting much once you're making $40,000. All right. You don't get no other real tax breaks and benefits. It's not a real tax break to buy a home. They say you can write off your taxes. You don't get much. I've been doing taxes for 20 years. You don't get much for being a homeowner, right? But this is what you do get. You get way more tax write-offs and deductions for being an investor. If you fix your home that you live in, your primary personal dwelling, and you redo your kitchen, the IRS ain't giving you no money for that. IRS like, baby, that's your house. You gonna make that money when you sell the property, okay? If you rehab your basement, whatever, in your personal home and dwelling, that is not a tax write-off and deduction. Now, if you learn something today and you switch your mindset from a consumer, and you knew someone like me who talks about taxes, okay? Now you would think, okay, if I bought a property under my LLC, not my personal name, all right? I've shared this experience with you all. I bought my family house out of foreclosure. My family member was living in the property, was getting ready to lose the house. In 2018, I bought the house out of foreclosure. I didn't personally buy the house under Patrice Stewart. I bought it under my company, my management group, my real estate management group. Management company that I created to buy and invest in real estate, right? Why did I do that? Because I knew that me personally buying the property was no tax benefit to me. And if I planned on rehabbing the property, which I did, again, I would get no tax benefit for rehabbing the property because it would be my personal dwelling at that time, right? Or in my personal name. But all the difference from creating and setting up an LLC, now I'm an investor, now I'm a company, all right? So under the business tax code, when you are a company, when you are an investor buying property and rehabbing property, now that's a tax write-off and deduction. I had to spend about $20,000 on my rehab. So now I was able to write off the contractor, the electrician, the plumber, the materials, the cost of materials. Now that's actually a tax write-off and deduction. So if I had to spend $20,000, I want to figure out how I'm gonna get that money back. You get what I'm saying? So again, the American school system that taught you and is teaching your children right now would never teach you that. You will never learn that in America. You will never be completely free, because even in America, after you have paid off your home and you own your home outright, guess what? You're paying property taxes. Okay? Same way with your vehicle. You can go to the auction and buy your car outright. You may not have a car note, but guess what? What do you got to keep? Insurance. So now insurance has gone from $100 a month to $300 and $400 and $500 a month. You see the system? So the system is spent for you, is made for you to consistently spend and never build. Because if they only paying you $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, and you all have married couples with 2-3 kids, you paying daycare. Sometimes daycare is a mortgage statement. I've seen some of my clients come in paying $10,000, $12,000 a year in daycare. Then you forget that as W-2 wage earners, you are taxed, right? You're taxed. You're taxed on your money before you even see your money. You get your check and the money is already taken out. That's what America has taught you. That you can work for 40 hours. Oh, but before you even see your check, we're going to take it. We're going to take what we want out first. It's another way to live. Again, having a small business and starting a small business, even while you're working your 9 to 5, is one of the best things that you can do in your life. If you all want change in your life, you cannot depend on no political party, red or blue. It will never happen. The same people that's on here talking about red, 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 half of them live in trailer parks down south, baby. Let's be clear. Okay? You ain't living the grand life either, baby. Okay? Politics and this system was never meant for nobody to be above water, which is where most people are at. Do you know last month 10 million people could not pay their rent or mortgage? I don't even know if it's could not, did not. Let's say that. 10 million people did not pay their rent or mortgage last month. Okay? So, again, let's get off of the basic conversations. Let's get off of the entertainment, right? Worried about somebody, some celebrity and what they got going on. Baby, if you struggling and broke and you don't have $1,000 in your savings account right now, I'm talking to you. Hello. I'm talking to you. Okay? Because it ain't shits and giggles. This ain't fun and games. And I've been talking about this and saying this for over 11 years now. It's 2024. Some of you just will never get it. And that's okay. I've learned that. My message ain't for everybody. But some of you are sitting in that cubicle day after day, and you felt like me when I worked at corporate America, and you was like, this is some bullshit. This is not my life. I know God has so much more for me than to be sitting here in this cubicle. Okay? To be sitting here in this cubicle, got to ask somebody, can I go to the bathroom? Can I go on vacation? I got off the corporate slave trade 11 years ago. Thank you, Father. March of 2013, I got let go from a big box bank, from my big box bank position. And I decided to bet on myself. Well, I had already bet on myself because I started my company in 2008. All right, but I just was working my business part-time. But I knew it, and I kept having this feeling every day I would go in there. I was like, this ain't for me. This is not my life. This is not it. This is not my life. I feel it. This ain't me. I'm not supposed to be coming here to sit in this cubicle every day. I'm not happy. And then I'm really talking to some of you who look like me, because y'all know what we got to do. We got to code switch. Right? Then you wonder why so many of your African American politicians do it so easily. They code switch so easily, because we've been taught that. We know how to code switch real quick. That's messed up, right? But at the bank, they actually told me that I needed to change my voice. When I made calls, they had call night. So we had call night. So we had to call the customers on the phone. And so they didn't like this voice. They didn't like this voice, my real voice, who I am, right? They was like, can you soften your tone? And so I used to go call, ding. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Patrice Stewart. How may I help you? How many of y'all got to wake up and do that every day? How many of you have to wake up and take off your real voice, right? Your real voice. African American men and women, I'm really talking to you. Your real voice. But you got to go and be softer so you don't come off as aggressive, the angry black woman. The strong one, right? Again, that's system designed. That's systematic to try to break you down from your power and who you are, baby. Okay? The mind, baby, I tell you, when you know better, you do better. When I was able to be free from society's conformity, because that's, again, what it is. They have designed you all to be in conformity, right? You're conformed. to a specific mindset and thought process. But when you really learn and you're able to be free, right? When I was able to start my own business,